Okay, everybody. So hopefully we won't have no internet issues. It's just cold here. It's cold. Weather's clear. So yeah, I got Lori and Karen on the phone call tonight. We just got off. So I'll get you and Lori maybe Friday or something. Maybe tomorrow. So we got Tim got you this time. 1, 2. Lucy. Ophelia. I think I said that right. That sounded out right, I think. Okay. Um, Chico, I gave you stuff already. Huh? Lori? Oh, and, you did get me, those lemon cookies that, Chico likes, and, you gave me something different this time. What was it? Those were the chocolate pretzels. Those are good. Oh, Chico. Yep. They got all kinds of different items there, huh, Ed? You should send me the list. So who are we waiting on? Terry still. Hey, Stafar, yeah, we had an internet issue yesterday and hopefully tonight. Um, we got our old names are coming back. Conservative Cowboy. Dave, you see all the names that came in last night? Couldn't believe that we saw Elvis and Conservative Cowboy. Everybody's starting to find me again. Second Tim should be coming up. Tim 1, Tim 2. And Lori 1, Lori 2, and Laura. So my settings are not fixed yet on the phone. Yep, that's what I was hearing. So I'm trying to get that Lori was in that Patriot Underground. I saw it on Rumble, but I didn't get a chance to go through the latest. So Billy Bean is talking about outer space again, so we're not going to play that one today. Wait till she gets back to her basics. She's changing her subjects. I got other stuff to play. I want to see if the Australia lady came out. Oh, she's not out yet. Okay. I guess we'll go ahead and get started here. Hopefully, everybody will be coming in. I'm going to play this one. Let's see who this lady is. I can't remember. I gotta log into Telegram. Yeah, that was Chico. His water. Okay, we're logged in. What we got here? Okay. We'll start off. Hold on, Chico. Oh, shoot. So, let me guys know about this guy. Is he good or bad?
Nothing you've heard about the past is true. Nothing you've heard about the present is true. We are living in a world right now
Not sure if he's
where
good or bad.
everything we hear is twisted, is manipulated to brainwash and control you. But the good news is we are
7
coming
minutes.
out of that era. This is what I want to tell you guys. We've heard about the future that it's dark and gloomy and horrible and evil, and Satan is going to rule the world, it's going to be an antichrist, blah, 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 mark of the beast. No, none of that won't happen. The reason you believe this is because they need you to believe it. They
He's on
need you to be afraid.
Telegram.
They need you to look at the future as if it's dark and horrible and
I'll
hopeless.
stop it as soon as
I
you guys
was there
help me
too.
to.
I
You guys
believed it.
don't
I
like
did
him.
not want to put children on this earth. Now I have four of the most beautiful, amazing, incredible, wonderful children that are an indescribable joy in my life, a source of happiness beyond belief. We have dreams for their future. They have dreams for their future. We know that they are going to do incredibly powerful exploits. I wasn't like that. I thought the world was about to end. There was no hope, no future. I'm telling you, God spoke to me and he changed my mind. He said, "You've been lied to. Everybody's been lied to. The future is beautiful." I want to encourage you to change your mind. Look at a few things that are happening in our world.
Oh, he's
This
good at
will not
him.
fit your
Okay.
typical worldview, but it is the reality.
Sounds okay.
So we've all been seeing what Bill Gates was doing. Poisoning humanity with his vaccines, poisoning the skies with his air sprays, spraying toxic chemicals to block the sun, injecting cows with poisonous, gene editing substances to stop them from farting, supposedly to stop climate change. All these incredible things, making fake meat to replace actual natural meat, and so on and so on. There literally was no end to the insanity of Bill Gates and the powers behind him. No end to the madness which he was using to destroy everything natural in this world and destroy humanity. I'm telling you, he has reached his end. Bill Gates was invited by Donald Trump. Everybody was crying
I
wolf.
know.
Oh my God, oh my God, look at Trump. He is dining with Bill Gates. Horrible. Trump is in on it. Trump is evil. Well, what happened, guys? After Bill Gates visited Trump, he suddenly made a 180-degree, and he is no longer talking about climate change. He said I was wrong. Listen, guys, listen, you gotta catch this if you wanna get hope for the future. The number one lie to steer the human race into the abyss of destruction is climate change. Bill Gates was the number one voice in the earth to push entire nations, governments, all the news media, the whole scientific community worldwide. Everything was being pushed by Bill Gates to steer humanity to its doom under the guise of we need to steal everybody's rights because of climate change. We have to kill all the cows because of climate change. We have to
Okay.
spray the
Hey, Mike.
skies because of climate change. We have to poison the food because of climate change. He was working on freaking vaccines for climate change. It doesn't end. He visits President Trump
Okay.
and he turns around. And now Bill Gates has said, oh, there is no threat from climate change. This means that the number one power, the argument, the strongholds used to seize control from the human race, to submit everybody to suffocating slavery, has been removed. This is just one of the countless examples of what's happening where literally every major stronghold of the powers of darkness is being destroyed in our time. People used to believe the news media, unquestioningly. There was virtually not a soul on the earth who was truly critical. Everybody was always watching the evening news, reading their newspapers every single day. Every father, every man, every student, always watching the news. The powers of evil were mind controlling all of humanity through the mainstream news media. And what happened? President Trump exposed it as fake news. And all of a sudden, the trust in the news media worldwide has crumbled to almost zero. Only a remnant of idiots still believe the news media, but the vast majority of humanity has stepped away. Well, there are a few countries, for example, in Europe, that are still suffering under the mind control, but the walls are cracking. The people are waking up. What does this mean, guys? This is another example of how the number one force of evil to rule this world, the lying mainstream news media, is crumbling under the weight of truth that is exploding around the whole world. Guys, President Trump has exposed for all of humanity in the last years thousands upon thousands upon thousands of small alternative news outlets have just popped out of the ground everywhere. And truth is being proclaimed to humanity as never before. I want to encourage you, change your mind, shift your vision. Don't think that everything's going to be dark and gloomy. No, there's a new day dawning. We are at the very point where the rule of evil in the world is coming to an end. And I can tell you so much more about this. I'm actually writing a book about it to explain to you how the future really looks. Evil is not going to rule the world. Evil is going to be destroyed and removed. Humanity is going to breathe freely, finally. A beautiful future for your children. Fulfillment of your deepest dreams. God is going to do something that will amaze all of humankind. Follow me here if you want to hear more.
Okay. Yeah. I think I remember him. We played him a while back. I'm gonna play some short videos.
to light, and on the other we have lost souls that are clinging to the old world, to religion, to government, to validation, to rules that were never rooted in universal truth. And that's perfectly okay, because not every soul came to awaken. Some came to experience powerlessness, what it's like to truly be immersed in the matrix. Now, all of this darkness that we are seeing right now, it's not a mistake. Bashar calls this the rubber band effect. The deeper we get pulled into darkness, the faster we will slingshot into light when we finally let go. That's why right now you see that everything looks very chaotic, because the band is stretched to its limit, but the release is going to literally be glorious. Pluto in Aquarius is exposing the matrix like never before right now. We are seeing the
Hey,
prisons we didn't even know we were
I just
living
did a
in, the
couple
systems we
videos.
unconsciously praised, the false idols, the leaders who fed off division. All of it is coming to the surface so we can finally face it. And even Charlie Kirk's death became a mirror. It's revealed where people stand mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It showed us who is aligned with truth and who is still lost in illusion. This is what the split looks like: people showing their frequency. And the truth is that we are living in overlapping parallel Earths right now. There's low vibrations, there's the ones in between, and there's high vibrations. The split is widening. And at one point, we won't even see each other anymore, because the vibrations will be so different. It will be like existing in completely different worlds. And whether that full separation happens in our lifetime or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is that right now we're in the demolition phase. The house is being torn down. We have to see the rot, the shadows, the corruption, so we can rebuild something that becomes unshakable. And the rebuilding starts with you, with me, with us raising our vibration, transcending our shadows, anchoring our light. Every time you choose love over fear, truth over illusion, power over victimhood, you add weight to the scale, and eventually it will tip. So all this darkness and chaos that's going on right now, it's not about fearing the darkness. Don't resent the demolition that is happening right now. See it for what it is: the clearing of space for us to build the new earth. The light is inevitable. Be it, anchor it, live as if the new earth is already here, because in truth it is. Join us in the Awakening Inner Circle if you're done walking your awakening journey alone, if you're craving clarity, if you're ready to release heaviness and feel lighter, and if you want the support, tools, and direct guidance. This is for you. We begin October 1st. Link is in bio.
Okay. Never seen her before.
It's
1
all part
minute.
of the plan. I want to talk to you folks for just a second because you're still in my comment. As a cold, hard card member of the conspiracy clan, I'd like to have a conversation. Have any of you who've been in my comments telling me to just relax and get your popcorn, have you ever given any thought as to what your part of this plan is supposed to be? Because I promise you, it's not sitting on your ass on the couch eating popcorn and watching the world burn down. If you really believe in all the conspiracy stuff, you have a part in this, and that part is to be just as enraged as the normies. Do you know why? Because it is your job to lead them here. It is your job to wake them up to the corruption of the two-party system in both parties. That's your job. Your job is not to point to Q posts and numbers. And all. Your job, okay, is to be just as angry with them and to bring them to your level. But you're not. Instead, you're in my comments telling me to relax. You just need to relax and trust the plan. Somebody left this comment on my Representative Randy Feenster video where I talked about Iowa and their astronomical cancer rate. Somebody else had left that very same comment in my live last week when I was coming down on everybody about just relax. No, that's not my job to just relax. I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're pulling your information from. I get it. But I also understand that my part in this is not to just sit back and relax and just watch it all happen. And neither is yours. You're supposed to be out here educating people, and you're supposed to be out here leading the charge on a lot of this burn the whole fucking system to the ground thing. But you're not doing that. You're coming at me from private accounts or blank accounts or whatever, and you're like, just relax. It's Q. You ever thought that you're supposed to have a bigger part in this? You're supposed to be raging against the machine as well. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe that was your part. Maybe your part wasn't just to know, but maybe to actually do something about it. But you're just gonna relax and eat your popcorn. If you're a true believer of that said conspiracy and you're doing nothing but sitting back and just watching, that's a problem. Then you're not a true believer. Then you don't believe in any of it. The whole idea of this was to get people to wake up to everything that was going on. And that is exactly what's happening. But it's only happening because people are talking about it. If nobody would talk about it, if everybody just sat back and trusted the plan and ate their popcorn, then nobody would know what's going on. You're failing your own movement. Congratulations. You played zero part in the Great Awakening because you just sat on your couch and ate popcorn while it happened. Can't tell people to be patient and trust the plan when people are dying at an astronomical rate from cancer in my state. I can't tell people to be patient and trust the plan when there's zero accountability happening, even though we've been promised accountability for 4 fucking years. I can't tell people to be patient and trust the plan when they had loved ones die all by themselves unnecessarily in hospital. When kids have delayed speech problems because of the masks, I can't tell people to just be patient, just relax, just watch it play out. You know better. People are pissed and they have every fucking right to be, and they should speak out. I have no right to tell them not to.
Okay, that's the latest one. Her got one, the first Benny video.
Throw him out.
Just hanging around.
Get him the hell out of here.
13.
Get him out of here. Get out. Get him out of here. And you'll read about him tomorrow.
What's up, guys? Benny. Never underestimate libs and the media's capacity to throw a boomerang and hit themselves directly in the nuts. CNN, top of the feed this morning. They got Trump now. Democrats released emails that show that President Trump is an absolute predator with his buddy Jeffrey Epstein. Get a load of these emails. Jeffrey Epstein, convicted sex offender, death by suicide, bond, intense scrutiny, high-profile people, mentioned Donald Trump by name in private correspondence. Well, okay. Waiting for the bombshell. In emails to Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who was convicted of sex trafficking, the author Michael Wolff included conversations in which Epstein asserts Trump spent significant time with a woman, a mysterious woman. House Oversight described her as a victim of Epstein's sex trafficking. Oh my goodness! Now they finally got him. They finally got him. President Trump with a woman who knows about Epstein's sex trafficking. The emails include a message where Epstein asserts that Trump knew about the girls, seemingly in reference to a claim that he kicked Epstein out of his Mar-a-Lago club for poaching young women who were working there. This looks really bad for Trump. The emails were released on Wednesday by House Democrats to distract from the fact that they are completely in collapse, reopening the government and admitting defeat. Trump did not receive or send any of the messages, largely predated his time as president. He has not been accused of any criminal wrongdoing. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this. My goodness, they finally got him. Look at this that the House Democrats released. Right here is the email from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell. I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Interesting. This victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned, police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. Now, while some of this, is hieroglyphics and I'm not exactly sure what to make of it, the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. That's a way of saying that Trump has been silent and that a victim of Jeffrey Epstein's horrible sex trafficking ring spent a bunch of time with Trump at his house. So Trump must obviously be a predator. Here's the problem. Now, we already have these emails. And the victim is Virginia Roberts. Virginia Roberts, of course, is one of the most famous and one of the bravest whistleblowers against Jeffrey Epstein, who exposed the entire operation to the world in hundreds of interviews and even congressional and legal depositions that are all available to the public, of which she has been asked while she was alive, and we'll get to that in just a second, about Trump. And she said, "What do you mean, Trump? He didn't partake in any of the sex with any of us. He didn't do anything wrong. Donald Trump never flirted with me. Yeah, I knew him at Mar-a-Lago. I wouldn't say that we were friends, but we did know each other because I worked at Mar-a-Lago, and Jeffrey Epstein stole me from Mar-a-Lago." Have you ever been in Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein's presence together? No, she says. In not just this, but like dozens of court documents and on video and in her book. So what they're doing here is they're smearing Donald Trump. Again, they're smearing Donald Trump. I'm not saying that Trump should be free of all criticism forever. I'm saying that, like, let the facts fall where they may. They are literally omitting demonstrable testimony to the opposite of the narrative they're trying to launder right now. Democrats intentionally redacted the name of the victim, knowing that it was Virginia Roberts. Of course, you can name her because she's dead. Now, that's, again, something that is very strange. Virginia Roberts' own dad, lawyer, say that they believe that she was suicided. Virginia Roberts' suicide happened where Virginia Roberts was in the Australian outback, one of the most remote places on earth, got hit by a school bus, as the story goes. Nobody was ever charged for this. She winds up in the hospital. She goes on social media and says she's going to die soon, and then she dies soon.
Hey, Bria.
By suicide.
Happy
Alone
birthday.
in her rural farm. And all of her family members, including her lawyer and father, say, no, we don't believe that. Virginia Roberts' own testimony says that I'm not going to die by suicide. I'm not suicidal. There are a lot of evil people that want me gone. And boy, it sure would be nice to have Virginia Roberts around to ask her a question about this. Now, of course, she's answered it many times on the record, but you wouldn't be able to run this up if Virginia Roberts was alive. Now, it's well known that Virginia Roberts is an individual who worked at Mar-a-Lago as a masseuse, that Jeffrey Epstein, decades ago, when he was a member there trying to buy his way in to American polite society and elite society, that he stole Virginia Roberts from that position and then hired her, and Trump hated that, along with some of the other rumors that Jeffrey Epstein was abusing young women, and then Trump banned him from Mar-a-Lago, and then President Trump potentially acted as an informant for the FBI against Jeffrey Epstein, becoming, one of the heroes in this story. President Trump has talked about this on the record. President Trump has straight up and openly said, yes, Virginia Roberts worked at the spa. I knew her. She was a friend of mine. She says I did nothing wrong. And that Jeffrey Epstein stole her. He said that in this interview right here.
Come and complain. This guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again. And I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Jeffrey?
I don't know. I think she.
I didn't see Carol come in yet.
I think so. I think that was one of the.
I think she worked at the spa. Trump's openly admitted this. This is public record. Trump's talked about this before. How is this an own at all? It's not. But what is actually happening here? It's an op against Trump. Trump is the guy who not only assisted in the prosecution of Jeffrey Epstein.
The thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them. He is the only person who picked up the phone
representing Epstein victims
and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever. But
this is the prosecutor.
When you've got a classic ride, you need tools you trust. Whether you drive it every day.
Here, saying he's the only guy. I served all these powerful people, and Trump's the only guy that picked up. Was that because Trump was an informant?
What Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president.
They tried to walk that back, but he said it. Trump was an FBI informant. I mean, that just stands to reason. Because it was President Trump who actually popularized Jeffrey Epstein in the 2016 election, constantly and regularly talking about how evil he was and what Bill Clinton did on his island. If you were guilty, would you be doing that? If Donald Trump was guilty of something with Jeffrey Epstein, would you be wanting to tell that name to all of the American people? The only reason the American people even know about this is because of President Trump and because of how President Trump has treated the Epstein sex trafficking ring, in my estimation, still like operated by a mix of U.S. and foreign intel as evil. And that's the way Trump's always approached it. Those are just the facts. Why did Democrats cover up the name? Oh, because it was Virginia Roberts, or Guffrey, and she goes by both, publicly said that she never witnessed Trump doing anything wrong. Democrats are trying to create fake narrative to slander Donald Trump. Bradley Edwards, the lawyer for Epstein's victims, said that it was just Donald Trump who helped him out.
Hey,
Trump's comments on Virginia Roberts' suicide story, saying it's a very sad and tragic situation. It would be nice to have her alive right now, the Trump administration. Press secretary saying Democrats selectively leaked emails to the liberal media to create a fake narrative to smear President Trump. The unnamed victim is of Virginia Roberts, who has defended President Trump, saying that she's seen no wrongdoing from him whatsoever. The fact remains that President Trump kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of his club decades ago, trying to creep on his female employees, including Virginia Roberts. These stories are nothing more than bad faith efforts to distract from President Trump's accomplishments. Bill Clinton, on the other hand, is named regularly. Clinton likes them young. Clinton was named by Jeffrey Epstein victims. Clinton has been named by Hollywood stars as being on the plane with these young girls. J.D. Vance saying Democrats don't care about Epstein. They didn't care about Epstein victims. They had unified power of government for the last 4 years, and they did nothing for Jeffrey Epstein or the victims. Ladies and gentlemen, and this is why they're running a new hoax. An important reminder of what President Trump has asked a full and total investigation into Bill Clinton for what he did with Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Clinton's not looking great these days. I sure do hope we get these answers someday.
Or they should focus on the fact that Larry Summers from Harvard, that Bill Clinton, who you know very well, and lots of other friends, really close friends of Jeffrey Summers should be spoken about. Because, you know, Jeffrey Epstein should be spoken about. And they should speak about them, because they don't talk about them. They talk about me. I have nothing to do with the guy. Some of his friends that are hedge fund guys, they're all over the place. You ought to be speaking about Bill Clinton, who went to the island 28 times. I never went to the island.
Do you maintain you did not write a letter for Jeffrey Epstein's birthday?
I don't even know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot. All you have to do is take a look at the dossier, the fake dossier. Everything's fake with that administration. Everything's fake with the Democrats. Take a look at what they just found about the dossier. Everything is fake. They're a bunch of sick people. So you should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein. I sure as hell did.
I'll play the next
you should be talking about, if you're going to talk about that, talk about Clinton,
video.
Talk about the former president of Harvard, talk about all of his friends, talk about the hedge fund guys that were with him all the time. Don't talk about Trump.
Almost over.
What you should be talking about is the fact that we have the greatest 6 months in the history of a presidency. I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth. And by the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard. and many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them. I never had the privilege of going to his island, and I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island. In one of my very good moments, I turned it down. I didn't want to go to his island.
Okay. So I'm going to play 2 short ones for JJ.
To hear new information. A lot of things are very triggering.
And what do you make of what you've heard today?
I'm deeply upset. It wasn't what I was expecting. I'm saddened. I don't really know how to comment on it, except for it's upsetting and very confusing.
Well, clearly the White House has said that the first emails released by the Democrats were deliberately selective and chosen to smear the president. Then we have thousands more released by the Republicans. But as far as you're concerned, is any release of information, progress in what you ultimately want, which is transparency for victims?
Well, of course, every information that's released gets closer to finding out a little bit more of the truth. So we have to go through all of this to figure out what's really going on. So I absolutely believe, it's not easy to hear, and it's not easy to connect the dots, but I think it's very important that, they're being released.
How far from the truth are we?
Very far. I think we're very far from the truth, but we're getting closer. I just think there's a lot that's going to be coming out over the next few months.
So what ultimately do you want to see?
Well, we want to see justice. We're not quite sure what that looks like, and maybe just understanding what's really going on. And what's most important is also just protecting the survivors that names are being released with the information. I think that's the hardest part, is the survivors really understanding the impact that has on them, re-traumatizing them, and making sure the information is correct as well.
I know you spoke out after Virginia Giuffre did. Why did you decide to speak out?
The only reason why I chose to speak out was because of Virginia's story. And I felt like it was important to stand up for her and believe her, because so many people don't believe survivors. That's the number one thing that survivors go through, is that people don't believe them. And I'm here to change that narrative. I'm here to say, no matter how hard it is and how much I have to tell my own story, stories like Virginia's are very, very important. And she was trafficked to many powerful people. That's not okay.
And in terms of your own story, as re-traumatizing as it is, would you mind me asking where you were when you first met Jeffrey Epstein?
I happened to meet Jeffrey on his island. I wasn't supposed to be there. I wasn't brought on the plane. I was brought by boat from another close island close by. And another young girl brought me, thinking, oh, this is a great guy. He's a mentor. He's done so much for me. He got my visa to work in the United States. She was Eastern European, like so many victims were. And just happened to go with her. I don't believe she was expecting Jeffrey to abuse me that evening. But for some reason, he took a liking to me. During dinner, he got to know me and asked me a lot of questions about my family. And I had actually grown up in England for the first few years of my life. So, he found it interesting. And the conversation went from there to, your ambitions and aspirations and your goals, which made me feel kind of like, special. And I felt safe in his presence.
So are you saying you were abused the first night you met him?
Well, I was there for the entire day on that island. And then after dinner later on that evening is when one of the other young girls knocked on the door and said that Jeffrey was ready for his massage. And as you know, this is Jeffrey's MO. He had massages with the young girls, and the massages turned into assault.
And how did you feel after it?
Well, horrible. I think for months after I blamed myself, wondering like, what did I do wrong? Or, you know, why did he do that to me? I thought I was the only one. I didn't know at the time the other girls on the island were also victims of the same type of abuse.
I know you have a podcast now speaking to survivors, often about the complexity of abuse, because you did keep in contact with Jeffrey Epstein over subsequent years.
Yes,
Okay,
and I wanted to
3
explain
minutes,
why.
guys.
A lot of people don't understand why would you
3
go
minutes.
back, but a lot of times it's a grooming process where they reel you in. You know, like, I remember what you said on the island. I can help you out now. You know, these things that when you're a young girl and you're entering the world and building your career, a lot of times people help you and good people help you, and you don't really know the difference between a good person helping you and a bad person that has, you know, evil intentions, so to speak.
And did you ever see Donald Trump in any of those interactions with Jeffrey Epstein?
I've never seen him, no.
There was talk of survivors producing their own list of perpetrators. Is that still possible? And will more people be brought down by this, in your view?
Well, this list that I spoke about on Capitol Hill was a list that myself, a few of the survivors, not all of them, and the attorneys have been compiling over the last few years. So there's a very long list of names that were seen or some of these victims had experiences with. So there's always been a list. I was just trying to put some pressure on the DOJ to say, okay, you're keeping this list hidden and you're not revealing anything to the public, but also remember that we know who's on the list as well. So I think that was a little push to them that I think has been working.
Is the Donald Trump question holding up the release of more information that you and others so desperately want to see?
We desperately want to see more. We desperately want to see the files and the information that's out there. Yes, of course.
Full disclosure?
Full disclosure. We need full transparency of what's going on. Everybody wants that. I do believe the focus is so set on Trump that we're not really getting to the other issues and the other problems, the other perpetrators, the other enablers, because the focus is so on him. So this is what I've been speaking out about for months now, is that we need to know more information about others. But things have come to light now that now I'm just a little confused on, you know, what's really going on.
And are you hopeful that you will get that full transparency? And if so, would that help for you, for closure, for what you went through?
Well, I'm always hopeful. That's what we want. That's what we're working on. And us survivors are working on quite a few things in the background. And I believe that we will start getting more answers. Just a lot of times when things are revealed like this, it kind of throws a monkey wrench in things, right? Because some things are like shocking and we didn't expect what was revealed today to be revealed.
Build a website you love.
Well, I got one in for you. I'm gonna get to Nick's videos. We got Q videos still to come.
Are corrupt. The Obamas are corrupt. The information is out there. We've seen it. We've seen what happened with Haiti. We've always said, I've always said, you guys have always said, look at the Clinton Foundation. That is the money laundering scheme. That is the money laundering system. That is what they are using to cheat the American people and to cheat the system. That is the mechanism. We've been saying that for years, and we now have absolute proof. Whistleblowers have come out and they have said over and over again that the Clintons have used the Clinton Foundation as a pay-to-play scheme. They've given specific operations, situations where they have taken money from certain defense contractors and then negotiated with other countries to allow those weapons in. And shortly after, strangely enough, wars breaking out in those countries. As recently as while Hillary Clinton was working under the Obama administration as Secretary of State. The problem is that these same whistleblowers came out years ago while Obama was still in office, and they were forced to shut down the operation. They were forced to stop, and there were memos now recovered that they were specifically told by Eric Holder to shut down the investigation into CF, Clinton Foundation. So it was made clear to the Obama administration that the Clintons had done real crimes using the Clinton Foundation, and they were shut down. The internal memos have come out. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel have turned this information over to the Congressional Investigative Committee, or the Internal Investigation House Oversight Committee with Jim Jordan, and they are digging. Jim Jordan has done a fantastic job. He has not gotten the level of respect that he deserves. He has not gotten the recognition he deserves. Heck, I'll go so far as to say I wouldn't be here right now if it were not for Jim Jordan and his hound dogging, his bird dogging in on Google, bird dogging in on social media groups, and proving beyond any shadow of a doubt that the Biden administration was forcing them to shut down dissenting voices. So this is going somewhere, y'all. But now the Obama administration has now been added to the piece because they were the ones who said, shut down the investigation. We saw, in addition to that, Jeff Sessions, who who tried to do a investigation into this in Arkansas years ago. And they were shut down as a result as well. They were never allowed to speak to these whistleblowers whose story has not changed in over a decade. They have been trying to get this word out, and now Pam Bondi and Kash Patel have given them a voice. I just hope that they keep them safe, because we know that it is definitely not a safe thing when you are going against the Clintons. But we saw several situations over the years where these people have given their testimony, and that testimony has been deleted or thrown out as a result. So, guys, hold on. Things are getting interesting. Grab your popcorn. But this is fantastic news, because we now have absolute proof of the Clintons colluding with.
Okay. I got a clip I want to show here. It says November 12th, 1955 at 10:04. The lightning struck the Valley clock. See if I can. Okay, let's see what we got on YouTube before I go back to the. Okay, we got. We'll do a cast video. Oh, wait. Oh, Doug has one out there. Okay.
Oh, these guys are sucked up. I hear some cars.
12 minutes.
Sounds like a street takeover. This is wild. Look at all the people in here. Oh, they're hopping over the counters. They're fighting to get behind the counter. Wow. This is wild. Look, these guys want to get in. They're filming it, waiting for their turn to get in. But before we look at some even wilder retail heists that show looters all across the country mercilessly destroying innocent businesses, watch what happens when the police approach this person.
All right.
I didn't take anything, sir. I mean,
Come on and walk.
Oh, there she goes. She's running.
Footprints for Dillage.
Oh, she's
White
fast.
female, gray top, blue jeans, brown hair.
She's quick. Where's she going? This is wild. Look, she's going in a circle. Come on, officer. You got to get her. Got to get her. Did she get away? Where's she going?
Towards Old Navy. She's trying to get
Oh, she's getting into her car. She's got a getaway car.
Get out. Stop. Stop the vehicle. Stop it.
Ooh. See, this is what happens when you're not in a sanctuary where police are allowed to confront these thugs.
HBH 031, Mississippi.
Oh, what's this, a good Samaritan? Oh, he's going to get in the car of somebody else. Wow. Look at this.
They went left. They went left.
See, the law-abiding don't like crime.
I'm in a vehicle with a civilian. I'm going to try to keep sight of him.
Okay, they see
went
the
around the circle
car.
already.
They're following them. Wow.
You're up ahead in traffic.
okay, there you go, sir.
What? She caught up to him. He's going to ambush these shoplifters because they don't see a police car. Oh, boy. Oh.
Get out of the vehicle. Shut it up. Shut the vehicle.
Wow.
Stop. Do not move.
These shoplifters,
Put your hands up.
They just made the worst decision of their entire lives. But look at the harm that shoplifting causes. Look at this gas station. This place is getting cleaned out, too. No police around at this Wawa like we just saw at that shopping mall. Everyone's just taking stuff. Look, nobody's even masked up. Nobody's afraid. Why? Because the people robbing this place know the police aren't coming. They know there aren't any consequences.
Not cute. Y'all got mom and dad.
Ooh, this lady in here stealing with her kids. Ooh, it's so obvious.
Yeah, that's how the kids learn how to steal. Ooh, she's got a whole cart full of stuff. Wow. Ooh, they saved one cart.
My kids gotta go to school. I gotta do what I gotta do for my kids. I don't care if you better go on.
This is crazy. But look at this.
Ain't no way.
Some of these security guards, like this guy, he just got it.
Look at this.
He just rescued that shopping cart, this security guard. Wow.
Ain't no way.
Look at that. Bring that back on the shelf. That's crazy.
He just snatched that cart.
But too bad there was nobody around to rescue this other convenience store from this woman who is just on a rampage. Look at her. Oh! Now all the chips are broken. You can't resell them because they're all going to be these tiny little fragments. Oh, she's going after the employee of chips. Whoa. This is terrible. Look, he's on the phone calling law enforcement. This is awful. This is terrible. And she's not even leaving. She's just in the store yelling.
Can't even hate on female, you
Hating on a female. I don't know if that's what this is about. Look at, she's destroying the store. She climbed out the window.
He's still here.
They locked the door to keep her in, and she's gone. She's leaving. That suitcase still has a tag on it. Is that stolen too?
Check it out, y'all. Crime is so low in California, they got to put one of these things around all of their deodorants and shampoos to keep people from stealing. That's how safe it is.
Look, it's a store within the store. It's what happens when you don't put people in jail. You got to put the products in jail instead. It's sad. Oh, we got a supermarket
She
fight.
cracked him hard with that cell phone. I hear someone go, they're fighting.
At Market Basket in West Bridgewater.
Whoever run up on me.
I look over and they're fighting like crazy.
Wow.
Police say Olivia Bird and Regine Bird were approached by an employee because they didn't pay for several items, including lobster meat, prime ribeye steaks, and
Prime
truffle
rib?
butter. The encounter escalated, and police say the
They're
two
stealing
women
prime rib
assaulted
and
two
lobster.
employees. The women were located in the parking lot by police and placed under arrest. According to court documents, the women said they were filling an Instacart order, but it was canceled, but police say they could not provide any documentation of that. The women then told police an employee put the items in the car.
You don't act like that, especially in the grocery store.
In the
There's older
sanctuary
ladies in
city of
there,
Boston, I
there's
guess you
children in
do.
there, the ladies using the F word.
Cuddy is relieved nobody was hurt, and he still cannot believe something like this happened at the basket.
I was thinking maybe it was the Patriots just kicked the Browns, but maybe inside it was a couple of fans. fighting each
Listen,
other
come
over
on.
the
This is
game. That's people
Massachusetts.
acting like this.
They only have Patriots fans in Massachusetts.
There is growing concern in Boston after a string of shoplifting incidents at
Oh,
two
really?
popular stores in Back Bay.
Competing
They're
with
still
California
looking
now.
for the people who hit Lululemon
Oh, look at
and
this.
also Alo several times
Oh,
over the past week,
that person's
including
out.
this robbery, which was
That
caught
per-
on camera,
three
and now
people. Look at
city
all the
leaders
stuff
are
they
trying
got.
to figure out how best to address
And this
the
is-
problem.
wow.
NBC 10's Brianna Borghi is live at City Hall.
I'll tell you how to best address the problem. Build a jail. Fill it up.
A series of shoplifting incidents in Back Bay has Boston city councilors considering how to best combat this type of crime.
Release the
We have to have
criminals.
more police also in the area, in the neighborhoods, a better response time from the police.
Better
as
response
well.
time.
But also there has to be some criminal justice
Right.
reform.
There you go.
Last week,
It's
thieves
not
were
about
caught on
response
camera
time. It's
stealing
about jail.
thousands of dollars worth of merchandise from Lululemon on
This is
Newbury
crazy.
Street. That same
Look
store
at
hit
'em.
again days later by two juvenile female suspects.
Wow.
Then on Sunday, police say 5 women recognized as repeat shoplifters entered Alo in the Prudential Center.
Wow. They are rolling. Look, they've all got headphones. They got all new stuff. They just stroll in, no masks, no nothing. This is why these sanctuaries are having these kinds of problems. The police, their response time isn't great because they've been defunded. And even if they catch the criminals, they get released. They get to come back. There's no consequences. That's the problem. There's no criminal justice here.
Shoplifting is typically characterized as somebody stealing for need, an opportunity. They need an item and they go out and steal it. What we're talking about and what we're seeing more of is a theft for economic gain. So it's not for need, it's for greed.
Last
There
year,
it
Boston
is.
police
It's for
launched the
greed.
Safe Shopping Initiative
They're
with
greedy.
the Suffolk County District Attorney,
I bet
which is
We have so many benefits in America for folks who are in need that there is no reason for anyone to be stealing anything. You don't have to commit crime to survive in this country. You don't have to do that. No way. Tell me if you think this guy's in need.
Someone will turn in a thief who was caught on camera walking out with expensive
at
items.
this guy.
Happened Friday at Qualite in Kenneth Village. The
He doesn't
store has
look
been
like
in
a
business
thief.
for just 3 months. The store's manager tells us that person was engaged with him in conversation, asking questions about several items. After about 20 minutes, the
So he's like a
manager
customer.
walked to the back. That's when that man walked out with a handful of high-end hoodies,
Wow.
a toy, all worth about 10 grand.
10 grand.
It's a major blow to this new business.
That's crazy.
They just kept asking me, hey, do you have size in this, size in this?
Ooh.
I went to the back to grab his size and heard like these clothes like wrestling and came back onto the floor and he was gone.
Yeah.
The thief was then seen getting into a getaway car waiting outside.
Oh.
Anyone with information is urged to call Glendale Police.
These are not people in need. The idea that shoplifters are people who just fell on hard times and are just stealing $10,000 to feed their starving children. In America, that's nonsense. We have a social safety net. We have 40 million people in this country on that safety net. As we've all found out recently, there is no reason to commit crime here. There should be zero crime.
All 3 of them put out formal statements.
Oh, yeah?
Walmart, Target, and Costco. You come in and you try to rip us off and then blame it on the government because you didn't get your EBT and you didn't get your SNAP benefits. And you think now we're going to foot the bill? Oh.
Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
With certified collagen filtration, something extraordinary happens. You get cleaner, safer, better taste.
Formal statements. They'll close their doors down. And if you want to order, you're going to have to do it online and you're going to have to come pick it up at the door. And the only people coming in their front doors is going to be their employees. Which I guess if you looked at it this way, it would be the only people coming in their front doors are the people they trust.
So if that happens and they switch to a delivery only model, costs are going to go through the roof. But that's going to be the only way these stores can stay open is if they do delivery only, pickup only. Look at this. Theft is so bad in some of these places. Walmart is forming an army.
Around guarding the Walmart. They was ready in here at the Walmart.
It's a sad thing that we have to be ready at Walmart. You know, people hate on Walmart, but they're out there helping by having low prices.
We come here all the time. Y'all know I do deliveries and stuff. We have never, ever seen 2 armed guard police just walking around.
Look what happens at a place that can't afford security, like another gas station. Why is it always the gas stations? These gas stations, man, they are not getting by. They don't get a free pass. Look at this place. No mercy for this store. This is terrible. This is going to shut down a family business. This is going to put people out of work. For what? So people can have some Doritos? This doesn't make sense. Look at this. At least they got bulletproof glass at the counter. It's the only thing keeping the employees safe. Look at this. This is crazy. Look at this. You know what? Here's how you end this. You do what the father of these 2 boys is doing right now, filming them going back into what looks like a Walgreens. Listen to this.
Come over here. Excuse me. These are my kids right here. They came in here and they stole. I apologize. They come in here and return the stuff that they just stole.
Right.
And if you ever see them in here again, please kick them out.
See, this parent is not stealing in front of his kids. He's telling them to shape up. If every parent did this, think of how different this would be. Think of how different these stores would be. They wouldn't have to lock stuff up if parents did this.
No, he was still in them. I found out he come to return them. If you ever see him in here again, can you please kick him out?
Okay, we'll do.
You know, they did the right thing, apologizing. The dad did the right thing.
Okay, thank you.
Apologize. Thank you.
And that's the problem that we've got here. We've got hordes of folks that feel entitled to something because that thing exists and it's not in their pocket yet. We've got hordes of people who think that because there are no consequences, they can just do whatever they want. And the worst part about it is consequences are a good thing. We've decriminalized a lot of this stealing. If people are not afraid that the law's ever going to come down on them, like this dad just came down on his kids, if there's no consequence, then some people are just going to say, you know what, because there's no consequence, it must not be a big deal. What do you think about that? Should more happen to people who steal? Should we have jails for shoplifters? Would we even have repeat shoplifters like some of these people who were dressed super nice, ripping off Lululemon, if they were in jail after the first offense? Would they be on the streets to commit the same offense again and again and again? Probably not. Let me know what you think about that. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.
Okay. Wow, he did something different, Kay. No Chicago or Portland. So we'll need some short ones for a while. And then I got a half hour of that one lady that does the dollar store. She has one I'm going to play. My settings I got back on TikTok on a couple. But I'm going to play the one lady that we played. Her videos are only 3 minutes.
Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. Frankly, this is our only moment of leverage.
You want leverage? Win an election. Republicans didn't claw back the House, Senate, and White House just to play nice with the same pyromaniacs who burned the place down the last 4 years. We sat through your hyperinflation, the Afghanistan surrender that left 13 heroes in body bags, open borders that flooded fentanyl and felons, and a president who couldn't even find the podium without a GPS. And not once did Republicans shut down the government to throw a temper tantrum. The clock is ticking, paychecks are on the line, and Americans are done negotiating with arsonists. MAGA runs the show now. Deal with it just like we did when your president was in charge. Here are Republicans now calling it like it is.
They're going to prioritize funding feminism in Africa over the food stamps of their own people. They're not that stupid, but apparently Hakeem Jeffries is, and that's a real problem for all of us here. We need 5 Democrat senators to pull their heads out of their asses and go work for the United States of America.
This could all be over. There's absolutely no reason that Americans should be suffering over a spending bill. And the president has made it clear, once Democrats agree to a clean continuing resolution, he will meet with them to discuss health care for Americans, but not for illegal immigrants.
Beginning, even from the beginning when Bobby was running as a Democrat, they were mean.
No.
Yeah,
And
we
they
got the
never
big channel
have been.
back
No.
And I can't say that for the Democrats.
I agree.
We're getting
And it's a-
everybody back
It's sad
on.
because it's not the Democrats we grew up with.
Right. Yeah.
And
yeah.
that's the difference that people don't, I think, see. They're like,
Well,
why did you turn on the Democrats? Well, first of all, I didn't. Like I said, we voted for the same person.
everything you did, you are too.
But I'm not going to pretend I don't notice
Yeah.
how different they are,
Yeah.
how mean they've become.
So that's the reality check from someone who's actually seen both sides. I mean, today's Democratic Party isn't about debate or dialogue. It's about control, conformity, and cruelty. And speaking of media and bias, did you hear that the head of the BBC and their top news boss just resigned over the weekend? And get this, it wasn't over a typo or a misquote. No, they got caught doctoring a Donald Trump speech. Here are the two. We have Director General Tim Davie and Head of News Deborah Turnez. Now, it turns out a leaked internal BBC memo suggested the Panorama documentary, they edited 2 parts of the U.S. president's speech together, so he appeared to explicitly encourage the Capitol Hill riot of January 2021. Turns out they cut out the part where Trump told his supporters they should peacefully and patriotically make their voices heard. I don't know. Little detail seems somewhat important. But instead, they stitched together a version that made him sound like he was rallying his troops for battle. Here's the version the BBC put out. Watch how they sneak in the crowd shot between the sentences.
I'll play 2 more of her, and then we'll check YouTube before I do the one on the Dollar General.
Part of what the Senate is. Well, I think right now we should maintain the filibuster.
Well, let's be clear. This enormously important bill, a bill to protect the foundations of American democracy, will fail. Rules get changed around here all of the time. And maybe, just maybe, we might want to change the rules in order to save American democracy.
This is exactly why Americans are fed up with Washington. You're either for something or you're against it, but you can't flip-flop depending on who's in power. Take it from Donald Trump. Like what he says or not, America respects him for at least being honest. Now, another surprise from Marjorie Taylor Greene. She criticized her own party for not putting America first, pointing at Congress and presidential advisors. Take a look.
Keeping him on nonstop tours around the world and nonstop meetings with foreign countries' leaders is not America first. It's just not. I think domestic policy should be the most important issue that the president and the Republican-controlled House and Senate are working on, and that showed up in the election on Tuesday.
She's right. Republicans need to do more on messaging and highlighting economic issues. You can't turn the economy around overnight. We all know that, right? Your checkbook, it takes months to get back on track. But you can show voters you see their struggles and you're working to make life more affordable. ignore what Americans feel, just like the Democrats did with inflation last time, and Republicans risk a midterm shellacking. The ball, I feel, is in the Republicans' court. 2026 is theirs to win if they can play it smart. Now, up next, I walk you through the different races we just watched play out on Tuesday and explain why this is not a referendum on Republicans, like Democrats want to tell you. If anything, I'm going to show you how it's actually going to benefit them.
Okay, one more.
Projector got hacked. Did you see this? It was flashing a message reminding everyone that President Trump is still president. I mean, come on. Trump versus a self-proclaimed socialist? That is meme gold. Now, the president, shortly after the news broke, he wrote, quote, "And so it begins." Now, Scott Jennings over on CNN, he summed it up like this last night.
Just want to offer condolences to Chuck Schumer. Honestly, what I'm reading here in New York City is that AOC is going to be the next senator from New York after she gets done whooping his rear end in the 2028 Democratic primary. And for his Senate races in 2026, I see the energy in the Democratic Party tonight behind a socialist, and I see the energy in Virginia, Democrats looking the other way on a violent candidate for attorney general who says he wants to murder Republicans and their children. If you think you're getting rid of Graham Plattner in Maine now, think again. This is a terrible night for national Democratic image, given what is happening inside their party. Mamdani is an avowed socialist. It's not what people say that he is, it's what he says that he is.
New York City has officially become the country's newest social experiment. I mean, part circus, part cautionary tale. The problem? The ringleaders are Gen Z voters who can say socialism, but couldn't define it if Karl Marx himself handed them the dictionary.
What is Mamdani's best policy?
Childcare for all.
What's he going to do for childcare?
He's going to make it available for everyone.
Where does the money come from?
Well, he's explained that over and over. So there's going to be there's money, there's wasted money, and
Where can I find where he's explained it?
Go to the website.
I voted for Mamdani.
Do you feel like socialism would work in New York City?
No, not necessarily.
They can't tell you where the money comes from, but they're sure it's available for everyone. Perfect. Just what every bankrupt city needs: more enthusiasm and less math. I mean, these people don't study history. They just scroll through TikTok, right? They think socialism is a vibe, not an economic collapse. Venezuela, Cuba, those aren't vacation spots. They're warning labels. But hey, if you don't want to learn from history, you're just going to have to live through it yourself.
Okay, let's check out YouTube before we get that half-hour one. Yeah, okay, she still oh wait, she came out with a new one. We'll go ahead and get her out of the way, and we'll play a couple other ones after this one.
On top of it.
So this fee is for the staff, so they can get a
26.
fair.
So they're right there at the very bottom.
Yep,
to support
thanks,
our
Bill.
staff, a 15% service fee is added to restaurant orders. This fee allows us to pay a fair wage and offer health care to all employees. So what does the price that we're paying for our food do? If the 15% fee is just to pay your staff, and let's be real, you probably pay them that's why we're expected to tip. Are we just paying for the building with the food and the staff comes? Just stop nickel and diming us with fees and just pay your staff as you're supposed to from the money collected from the food you're selling. For the love of God.
Wage. California fast food workers are now making 20 hours. So here in New York, I guess they're doing the service fee. So I'm guessing now we got to pay for all our food and pay for their wages.
You know what the worst thing is after a wonderful night is when you get charged a kitchen fee, 4% kitchen fee. What the is that? Here we go again. So this happened again here in California in Santa Monica. Had a great night. We were celebrating. The food was great. We had no idea that so many things. So we ordered 2 shots of tequila, and we were like, oh, how's tequila? It's fine. We got charged $36 for 2 shots. What the F? And then not only that, that's like $18 a shot. Not to mention the kitchen fee, 4%. I mean, the food was good and all, but like, come on. Like, why do you do that? No one even informed us about this. And then as soon as the check arrives, they come with like the actual machine, and they make you like select the tip option right away. And the lowest tip option is 20%, 22%, 25%. I mean, that's okay. But like, if 20% is like the minimum you guys require on top of the 4% and the tax that you added on top of that, and the $18 shot, I wasn't happy about that. But we had such a great night. But
we had such a great night. And that's the thing too. It's like the restaurants are banking on you having a good experience to not question the bill. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've gone out. I don't get to like go out to a restaurant experience like she had very often. But when I do, I go to have fun. I will spend some money, and I try to not look at the receipt because I am having such a good time. Those are the kind of circumstances where these restaurants will tack on all of this shit, and they'll hope you don't notice. If I asked for a well tequila shot, I would not have suspected to be charged $18. And that's the thing. They could just claim, oh, we didn't hear you say well, so we gave you top shelf. What do you do after that? You drank the shot. It's not like you can give it back. If they truly did give you a top shelf tequila instead of a well that you asked for, you kind of have to pay it. I mean, I'm not going to be that person that says, no, you need to put your foot down or refuse to pay it because you drank it. You already drank it. It's putting a lot of faith and trust in restaurants to actually charge you properly. And then it's up to you to be okay with an uncomfortable situation if something on that bill is not what you expected, like a freaking 4% kitchen fee.
All right, Vegas, here we go again. These hidden fees, I'm telling you. So if you haven't seen my last video, check it out. But this is proof right here. I literally got receipts. So this tourist right here comes to Vegas, goes to Hell's Kitchen, has a summer sampler right up there for $80. He gets his tax, $6 a tip already charged to him for almost $15, and then his total. And then they have the audacity to put down here, gratuity not included. Here's your options for
gratuity not included. What the hell is the tip then? Shady, shady, shady. They were expecting that they didn't notice and just tip on top of it. That's gross. Gross. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that I am now on Facebook. So if you want to go follow me over on Facebook, I will link all of my socials down in the video description below. I really appreciate it if you'd go give me a follow over there. I'm trying to, build my following over on Facebook because I want to go connect with you guys over there. So make sure you go give me a follow.
Okay, so I'm at a Mexican restaurant having some lunch, and the receipt comes out, and they say it's the service fee for serving the customer. Now, this right here gonna take the cake. Okay, so I'm down now, and the receipt says service fee for serving the customer. What's a service fee for serving the customer? What is that?
The way she just sips her margarita. That looks good. So now they're saying that a service fee is for serving the customer. Then what is the tip for? Is that like a shady way of saying that it's a living wage fee? So is that service fee the money that the restaurant is going to use to pay the server's wages? And then of course you tip on top of that? Because it's not the tip, it's a service fee.
Okay, have you guys seen this? And if you have, what are your thoughts? It says many restaurants are adding an 18% living wage fee on top of the meal cost to cover staff payroll expenses. Now, this, I'm not sure where they're doing this, who's doing this. Has this started happening yet? My question is this supposed to be instead of tips, or are you still supposed to tip on top of this? So this little section here, it says living wage fee of 18% added to each dine-in check. This fee goes directly to living staff payroll and provides a living wage to our team. If you choose to tip, tips are pooled amongst the entire team.
I have a problem with that too. If I am tipping my server, it's because my server did a good job. I'm not expecting my tip to go into a pool for everyone to split. I'm sorry. I understand you want the entire team to be able to benefit from tips, but if I am handing a tip to my waiter, they get the tip. That alone pisses me off. I hate pooling tips.
Thank you. So it's a weird concept to me because now you're basically using the 18%, what would be tip or gratuity, whatever you want to call it. Now you're paying your entire staff with it. Is this going to change their hourly wage? Because a lot of servers in certain states only get $2.13 an hour. So is this going to be now like everybody who works at the restaurant only gets $2 an hour? And then you're relying on the 18% fee to pay everybody? Like, how is this going to work? And then it also says if you choose to tip, it's going to split between the entire team, which to me doesn't make sense because if I'm tipping my server. That person did a really good job serving me, interacting with me, helping me out. They earned that tip. What are your thoughts? What's happening here? Is 100% of that going to the staff, or like, I have so many questions.
I think it's stupid. It's not right. It's not right. I don't like it. I don't like it one little bit. Because you know the price of food didn't go down. The price of food is going up. So in addition to the price of the food going up, we're also having to pay 18% tax just so that they can pay their staff to serve it to us. Stupid.
Let's get into all these fees we paid at this restaurant. And before we all start, no, we're not broke. I just want to talk about these fees. All right, we got a 44.
It is so sad that she has to preface this entire thing with that statement.
18
No,
minutes,
we're not
guys.
broke. I just want to talk
18.
about the fees. We have come to a place where we can't complain about being charged bullshit fees because people are going to criticize us on the internet and say, oh, we're too broke to pay it. That's why we're complaining. No, we're not too broke to pay the fees. We're just tired of getting nickel and dime to death when it comes down to it. Speaking of, if you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button on it and let me know because I'm also planning to do another one about different kinds of fees, not related to restaurants, but related to like cost of living fees that we're getting nickel and dimed on just to have things like electricity and pay our rent.
All right, we got a $44 service charge, $11.75 state tax, $441 city tax, $881 county tax, and then if you don't pay with cash, you have to pay basically $11 more. Let's get it. You're different.
The list of the extra fees and surcharges is like almost half the list of the actual food that they ordered. And half of the list that they ordered is zero charges because it's like the chicken and waffles, the key lime was $4 extra, as is zero. And then $6 potatoes, $6, like the list of fees on this receipt is probably the longest one that I've seen. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Hi guys, I am here to report another unexpected charge from a bill. This time it was a 4% health charge.
A 4% health charge? Health charge. Don't tell me that that is so that restaurants can give health insurance to their employees. Don't tell me that's what that is. Don't tell me that.
Our restaurant bill had a 4% charge for health insurance, or
Damn it! I saw that one coming. Now we have to pay 4% so employees can actually have health insurance provided by their employer. What happened to the time in our world when, employers just offered health insurance to their employees and didn't expect customers to pay for it? It was, a business expense. This shit's getting out of hand.
staff wellness. And I've been seeing this on the receipts of restaurants all over San Diego. They're allowed to put it on there, but you can't be forced to pay it. If you ask them to take it off, they have to remove it.
Good.
I've also seen some places put a $2 water donation fee if you drink water. There's a new California law, SB 478, that's supposed to go into effect July 1st. That's supposed to block these junk fees.
basically saying they're not allowed to advertise a lower fee and then tack off junk fees that you didn't know or expect, except for government taxes and government fees. So to me, that sounds like they're going to have to embed it into the price of food, and they won't be able to put these health care wellness 4% surcharges on our bills anymore. But have you seen that in other states besides California?
So I don't live in California. So if you don't live in California, please let me know if you've seen this wellness charge. This video was posted about a year ago, so it's not brand new. It should have been a thing for a while now. So let me know if you live outside of California and you have seen a wellness charge on your bill. I'm curious.
Stop by any McDonald's in the city of Los Angeles, and after being asked, do you want fries with that? You might also be asked, do you want a bag with that?
Well, I'm in the drive-thru, see the sign. There's a mandatory charge of 10 cents per bag.
Dr. Katie Shakur experienced this at an LA McDonald's earlier this month. McDonald's was suddenly charging 10 cents per bag.
Okay. I've heard of places on the coasts that will charge 10 or 15 cents for like a plastic bag or something like when you go shopping. But for paper sacks at McDonald's, I thought that they started charging the bag fees because they weren't environmentally friendly. So they wanted to incentivize people to bring reusable bags. What excuse does a fast food restaurant like McDonald's have to charge a 10-cent bag fee when they're giving you paper sacks to put your food in? Make it make sense.
Let's take a look at this receipt I got yesterday. So $5.66 plus 0 for service charge plus 34 cents equals 6. And my total is somehow $7.20. There's no gratuity or whatever. So I got 2 fountain drinks to go, your total $6. I handed my credit card. She walks off to the side to swipe it, and I can see the screen and it says $7.20. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like, that seems like a lot for like tax or something. And she goes, do you want a receipt? I said, yeah. So I grab my receipt and then I go to the bathroom. I add that up to make sure it does equal 6. And then I'm not just stupid, which it does. And then I also realized that $1.20, which is what I was overcharged, is 20%. So then I go back, I ask her, was there a tip added to this? And she said, no, there's a 20% service fee on credit cards.
What? 20% service fee on credit cards? No fucking way. No, I would have been like, bitch, here's your drinks back. Refund that shit to my card right now. 20% payment processing fee, 20%. The highest I have ever seen is 3.99%, so roughly 4%. Because that's like the max that credit card processing companies charge merchants for processing credit cards. I was a merchant. I had a brick and mortar store. I was open to the public. I know how much those credit card fees are. They do not go above 3.99% in most cases. Sometimes American Express can get a little greedy and we're talking like 4.7% or whatever. 20% is absolutely unacceptable. It's grossly mischarging for credit card processing. 20% card fee. This Keen Trace Golf Country Club can right off with that one.
Charge $0. So then I'm like, oh, like that would have been nice to know before I handed you my credit card, because I would have rather just paid in cash and saved my $1.20 for a credit card fee, but like question mark. And she goes, okay, this is what gets me. Okay, do you want me to refund the tip? And I'm like, you just told me it wasn't a tip. Anyway, so I say, yeah. She gets her little cash drawer and ends up giving me $2 because she didn't have change. But that just tells me she's guilty, because why would you give me 80 extra cents if you're not wrong? So either I think she accidentally hit the 20% tip button or tried to pull a fast one on me, because it was one of the little machines that like spins around, but she like had to go off to the side. So I wasn't over there to like do anything. And I also didn't get a receipt to sign anything until I asked for it. So this makes me hate tipping, which I already hate tipping.
I would not have left without talking to a manager, because if that employee did just simply tack on a 20% tip and lied and said, no, it's a 20% card charging fee. You know what? Listening to the rest of this, I believe that she did do a 20% tip without permission, because there is no way on God's green earth there is a restaurant or anywhere charging a 20% payment processing fee. There's no way. There's no way. That is so absolutely absurd. 20% does sound more like a tip, and tips are not put on that receipt. We can't see it anywhere. So I am willing to bet that, yeah, they probably hit the 20% tip and then they got caught. I would be raising hell with management. I would be raising hell with management. And I'm sorry, I know that the chick that did that is probably just so desperate for money. She needs her job. She thought that somebody wasn't going to miss $1.20 or they weren't going to care enough to actually look at the receipt. It's still wrong. That's theft. That is theft. That is like this cashier reached into this girl's pocket and took out 5 quarters. That's exactly what she did. And it's wrong. And if she were to get fired for that, I wouldn't even be mad about it. That shit is wrong.
I started All Nation Restoration to help people. Chase for Business is literally what it says in the name. It is Chase for Business, where I can find everything I need in one place so we can help people get back to life.
T-Mobile's Guide to Moving Day. Step 1, get T-Mobile 5G home internet with 2-day free shipping. Step 2, get online.
There's a French restaurant that's going to charge you $17 if your friends are a bunch of flakes. So basically, if you make a reservation for 8 and show up with 6, you're going to get charged. The owner of the restaurant says people ghost way too much and they should be held responsible. People are divided over this. You know, some say it's just business and other people are like, well, emergencies come up. Me personally, I'm fine with it as long as the restaurant's up front.
But here's the thing. Just because you book a table for 8 and only 6 people show up, it's not like the whole table itself is not available to customers now. The table's still there and the table still has 6 people sitting at it. So why are you charging for the 2 people that didn't show up? Or whatever happened to the time where you could go and book a table for a group, not exactly knowing how many people were going to be able to make it, but you wanted to lock down at least a table. That way you knew you were going to have a place to eat. The restaurant is still benefiting from having a table of guests. Just because 1 or 2 people don't show up to fill the full reservation, you're going to charge $17 a person that's not there? Seriously?
If you're in the US, you've probably seen this on a restaurant menu. 15% fair wage fee is added to all food and beverages so that we can assure a more equitable wage to all employees, including our food runners, servers, dishwashers, line cooks. Any additional tips are given directly to our service team. When I first saw this, I thought, okay, why not just raise the prices by 15% and pay your staff fairly, rather than having this "look how great we are" disclaimer on the menu. It seems bogus that they're trying to make the customer do this math, but if they're just raising prices by 15%, could put them out of business because they're no longer competitive.
Yeah, and that's why people are so pissed off about being nickel and dimed by fees. It's the same reason why people are pissed off about shrinkflation, right? It's because the price stays the same or goes up very, very little, but you get less for it. That's the basic manipulation of shrinkflation, right? We think we're paying the same amount, but we're actually getting less product. At restaurants, we think we're paying $15 for our meal, but no, we're actually paying $15 plus 15% so the restaurant can pay its workers. And then we're expected to tip on top of that. Because if we don't, we're douchebags that are taking advantage of the service industry. This is why people aren't going out to eat as much. This is why restaurants are becoming more and more empty. And it's really, really sad because I personally love the restaurant going experience, but I don't want to go and be nickel and dimed for a lackluster experience. I don't.
Please start paying attention to your restaurant receipts. There is an employee benefits fee on my receipt. That's not my responsibility. Pay attention.
Garciolo, a restaurant owner who lives in Central Florida, says 5 families, including his own, visited the restaurant on vacation with 11 children, all under the age of 8. After finishing their meal, Garciolo says someone from the restaurant made a surprise visit to their table, saying the group should pay a parent surcharge.
A parent surcharge? A parent surcharge. Literally, this thing says, adult surcharge, adults unable to parent, share charge $3, be respectful for staff. Like, it's literally on their menu that they will charge this.
The words unable to parent. Garciolo says he thought it was a joke. The owner tells me he's had this parent surcharge on the menu since the pandemic, but he's never had to enforce it on any of his customers. He wants to emphasize that the charge is not for kids, but for adults who don't know how to parent. The restaurant says they never charge Garciolo and the others the fee. but they told us the group had to be, quote, really bad for them to bring it up at all.
It sounds like it's on the menu as a threat, but I know that it's happened before.
I want y'all to look at this and tell me what you think. This dude went out to a restaurant. The bill was $704, right? The restaurant added a service charge of $108. I don't know what a service charge is. I don't know what that is. At first, I was thinking that it was something like a tip, to tip the server. But then this dude asks, is a $5 tip disrespectful or totally fair? You're not about to charge me $108 service fee and still get a tip. You're not getting a tip. What is a service charge? I'm sure there's somebody watching this who is either currently working or has worked in the food industry, in the restaurant industry. What's the service charge and how is it different from getting a tip? And why on the Lord's green earth is it $108? I'm sorry, but if I go out to eat and my bill is already $704, and then on top of that, you add $108 service charge, not only are you not getting a tip, but I'm stealing some silverware. I'm stealing some plates. I'm stealing something. I want y'all to look at this and tell me what you think.
This should be the last commercial. Yeah.
You're gonna charge me $108 service fee? I'm taking some silverware. I'm taking the Heinz 57 off the table. I'm taking that damn salt and pepper shaker set. I might even take the glass that's holding my water. Dang, man. Like that's a lot. Like if you think about $108 service charge on a $700 bill, that's like what? 15% maybe? My mental math is not working right now. So obviously if the bill was lower, the service charge wouldn't have been as high if it's working based on percentages. But that's still a lot. It's a lot of money for a service charge.
Hey y'all, I went to a restaurant and got me some wings, a 20-piece wings, y'all. And I went and picked it up. I should have did Uber Eats, but I did it. I went and picked it up. But I noticed that there was a fee on it. Now I know people want tips and everything, but I didn't sit down and eat. I just went and picked it up. And there was an extra fee. So I tell you, these restaurants are getting creative with these extra fees. I don't know what the fees were for, but the receipt said $5.04 extra for a room fee. What is a room fee? Just say you want a tip, put on there gratuity, you want extra money, tip, whatever. But what is a room fee?
So a room fee to me sounds like if you are in a big group and you need like the separate event room space that they have, like some restaurants will have separate rooms where they keep it closed off, almost not like a banquet hall, but like a banquet room when you have a big group and you want to be separated. That's what a room fee sounds like to me. But why does she have a room fee on her receipt when she was just coming to pick up a takeout order? Like, I know that fees and taxes and surcharges are basically just like added to every single receipt, but it's pretty shady that they don't automatically remove it when they know something is pickup. It's like they don't want you to catch it so that you go ahead and pay the room fee. That is shady.
I picked up my wings and left, and yet I had to pay $5.04 for a room fee. Y'all think I'm joking? Look, I don't know if y'all could see it.
All right, let's see it. So this is backwards. So I'm going to use the magic of editing to flip it back the right way so that we can actually read it. But I have to read it backwards right now. Let me show you my skills. So it looks like she paid $27.99 for 20 wings. Subtotal $27.99. Room fee of 18%. That sounds like a gratuity fee to me. Like she was a part of a big group. You know how sometimes places will do like, if you're in a group of 8 or more, there's an automatic 18% gratuity. That's what that looks like to me. Plus tax for a total of $34.99. And she said that she had to pay. I wouldn't have paid it. I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure, if not everywhere, in some states, if you are asked to have a fee removed, they have to do it. If it's not like a standard tax that they're collecting or a surcharge that they're using for payment processing or something, because a lot of places, if you use a card, they can charge you like a 3% payment processing fee or something like that. It's not legal in every state, but the majority of states will allow businesses to do this. And if it's a bogus fee like that, I'm pretty sure that you can ask them to remove it and they have to, especially for something like a room fee. It's not a gratuity. It's not a tax. It's not a payment surcharge. She should have requested that that be removed. And it's very disappointing that she didn't and she just paid it.
Do y'all see it on there? Mm-hmm. See it? Room fee.
Hey, Chris.
Help me understand what's going on with these restaurants and all these fees that they be coming up with. I have never heard of a room fee.
They do it because people pay it. That's why. They're allowed to do it, or they think they're allowed to do it, so they continue to do it. They will only stop doing it if people start pushing back and telling them to take it off. That's the truth. I'm really starting to think that the biggest problem with restaurants today isn't the food quality and it's not the price of your burger. It's the audacity. You know what? You can keep your kitchen appreciation fee and I'll just show my appreciation by never coming back. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, she does a good job with her. She's kind of a big channel, I think. So we'll see what we got on YouTube here. Okay, I'm going to go to Telegram. I got things I want to share on Telegram. Okay.
Almost like their husband and wife. They make it too easy for me. They really do. Did you ever see the video I did saying how JD Vance is actually Josh Duggar? You might not know him, but Josh Duggar from the show 19 Kids and Counting, who is supposedly spending a long-term sentence in jail, and whose sentence started in 2022, just before JD Vance came on the scene. And hey, he's from 19 Kids, and JD Vance just happened to find 19 loaded weapons, kind of like you call a kid with a dirty diaper a loaded weapon. But for you uninitiated, you might think this is crazy. So I'll show you a little of that video down to them having the exact same hairline and eyebrow and eye and nose alignment. And hey, their noses even kind of look identical. But this isn't the proof. I'll show you the proof. Well, actually, I'll let myself from a few weeks ago show you the proof with some very lovely smoking guns in the exact same place. And why don't we just zoom out a little and see who those belong to, just to catch you up before I tell you more about Erica Kirk. Oh, look at that. JD Vance. JD. And who's this one belong to? Oh, JD, Josh Duggar, JD. I'm excited. Are you excited? If you're not, you will be in a second. Because Josh Duggar, he had a wife. There she is there. Funny how they have the exact same height differential. And funny how at Josh's wedding, there's a little duality going on here. And she even wore white like it's her wedding day on that lovely embrace on the stage. And I thought this little clue by Yahoo was great, just great. Yahoo, 14 hours ago, released this picture saying, Josh Duggar's wife, Anna, slammed for selling puppies. That's the picture with that. Maybe Yahoo made a little Freudian slip, or do you think it was intentional? I think it was probably intentional mockery to put Josh Duggar's wife in the exact same article. You just scroll down a little and looky here. Oh, them just mocking us. Thanks for that nice slow pitch, Yahoo. But is this a little too much? You can't get there. You're not sure yet. Well, how about we look at their exact same noses and then zoom out and see, oh, it's Erica and it's Josh's wife, Anna. And then we look at their noses when they're not smiling. And yes, her is a little stretched, but again, they look identical. But I wonder if we can find something more substantial than just noses looking identical. There's two pretty specific marks there. Almost looks exactly like these two marks that would be covered up by makeup, but look like they're in the exact same place right there. You can see it. It's just covered up by a whole heaping ton of makeup. Do you want to see my favorite proof? Maybe of all time. It's a new one for me. And if you can't see how that face could go to that face real easily, let me show you. I want to show you putting their faces together, but it's not their faces that has me loving this one. Look at the hair. The literal exact hair pattern down to the part and the streaks and even the messiness up top. It's identical. Thank you, Anna, aka Erica, for being a predictable, repeatable human being. Real science. And in my opinion, there probably was a different Erica. And now she's just being played by Anna Duggar. And the original Charlie Kirk, I think, is probably Spencer Cox, the governor of Utah. And maybe the original Erica is now going to go hang out in Utah. But of course, you guys know all this is for entertainment purposes. I like to spin a good yarn just to entertain my lovely followers. And this is just